3. No contact. So that's at the beginning level. Then when you go, so let's say that's your white belt. Now your second belt, we say now do 2 techniques. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Next belt, let's do 1 technique. 1. Now before you graduate out beginning level, that's free flow. No hitting. It's like capoeira. You're like, whoa, boom, boom. Everybody just moving and moving. Now you can see what that student's really good at. By the time they go to green belt, now you can implement the point sparring. And they're ready and they're comfortable and they understand attribute. It's not just fighting, attribute. Because if this guy hit, throw a punch. I got to be able to go back and he got to block. So we developing the attributes that really helps them to do what? Become an athlete, become a martial artist. So that's all we do at the beginning level. We do it with little dragons too. The little 4-year-olds got them little pads on, they running out, woo! And then you bring the parents on the floor, you get the parents doing it. It is an EFC system. Homegrown EFC system. Any other questions? Yes.
What is the price structure of how you set it up? Is it like a monthly pricing thing, or is it just a one-time charge? How does it work?
In account receivables. I believe in account receivables. You are not going to come to my school and not pay. You're going to do 6 months, and it's going to be 36 months. I don't care who you are. Every program is 36 months.
What I'm talking about for is
even that program. Oh, you mean licensing?
Yeah, I'm talking for us. If we was to get your program.
Okay, let me see what I'm going to charge you. Let's charge them $20,000. I'll go because we believe in it so much and we just want to grow with EFC and we know what's happening with Shark Tank and everything. I think what we said, let's do $4.99 for 2 people from 1 school. You can come out to the next seminar in December. We got 4 seminars at our school. We do it at our school because we got nothing but bags and how many people really work out and be punching the bags and hitting the bags and doing the speed bag and doing the top and bottom bag? We got all of that at our school. And I think by bringing people into our school, we can really control the technical aspect. So you can come out to the next the certification in December, 2 people for $4.99. After Shark Tank, it goes up to 1 person for $1,000 because we believe in that, just like CrossFit. Anybody, if you never know about CrossFit, go on CrossFit and look at their registration. Every seminar is sold out, right? $1,000 per person. I know what we do is better than what they do. I'm talking about not me, but us as an industry. And we waive, and normally it's a $5,000 startup fee, and we waive $2,500 for all EFC schools. We want to do whatever we can do to get about 20 people, whoever, that really want to grow with us and develop a good network. I love competing. I don't know about you. I love my students going out. Not everybody go, but what about now having a tournament where you can take the students to, and you don't have to. How many people have taken students out to tournaments? How many people have lost black belt contracts because of the politics? I call it politics, not politics. So when that promoter's sitting there and like, I ain't calling that, you don't have to come back. I'm like, but for real, I just lost 2 students.
Stop going.
They signed up for 36-month contracts. We charge $200 a month. And you don't have a school. I ain't going back no more. So the only reason why we're doing this, because they got to compete, because we're in a competitive society, but we got to have events that understand that if you hurt that school owner, you hurt his income, and you can't do that. That's why we have Master Brown's event. We have the most prestigious events on the planet. We got the Arnold Show, Mr. Olympia, Action Star Hall of Fame. It's just a wide variety of competitions where they can go into where the concern is you. When you leave, we do not want that parent walking out that door upset, complaining. We want them to go home and having a good time. And we want it to be a great festivity over the weekend.
That was one of the reasons that we decided to combine the Capital Classics tournament with the summit next year. And let's be real, that's just unheard of. I mean, I've been here 34 years. I don't get Maya and Nap, who it is. You don't ever go there and hear them talking about competition, competing in tournaments. In fact, we came up, I spent 30 years with Mr. C telling folks you can't run a really good school and do competition. You got to pick one or the other, else your school's going to go down. And we all know that everybody in here has competed, or they compete, or they still like to fight. You don't just become a businessman and forget about it. But you'll be able to come and actually see the championship at the tournament. So if you stay over a day, if you're coming here, like if this was over today, tonight the tournament starts, and they're going to have the Point MMA championships there. You'll see people there. Well, you see everybody doing everything from extreme fighting to grappling to all of that. But the championship there is for the last 2 years. We put it on the stage at night, and it has forced everybody else to change their point fighting. What NASCAR used to do as point fighting, it's kind of like on the back burner now. They call it extreme point. Well, what is that? We better start hitting a little bit more. We better start banging, because this is a continuous kind of fighting. You know, everybody's doing continuous now. But what is continuous? Well, you don't stop and call points. You just go in and bang for a round. Well, everybody's starting to move back in that direction. And and a lot of the traditionalist guys like myself, when the UFC and everything started hitting and everybody's traditional schools started dropping off, I told them, don't get mad at them. Don't get mad at the BJJ folks. They came out and said, you got to fight on the ground. You can't just every time somebody go down, go stop, let him up. In fact, if you hit him on the ground, I'm going to disqualify you. They made everybody remember that you've got to be a total fighter. And it forced everybody back to the middle. It forced everybody. I don't think that it always go. You got the Bill Wallace going, I ain't going to the ground. Well, you might. But everybody realized that we've got to go back to the original martial arts where you had to be able to fight up and down. You talk to guys from the 50s and 60s, a bunch of those old guys. We said, what's new about that? Didn't everybody fight all over? Didn't you do sway jiao? Didn't you do shinad? Didn't you do grappling? Didn't you do locking? Said, yeah, but there was about 3 decades where nobody did that, and then all of a sudden the new corps came along and said, we got to get back to real fighting. And we were saying, thank God, we got to get back to this. So this forcing everybody to go back to something like this, and I think this is going to bring that whole generation back to that total fighting. Because when these guys came up, they were banging, but they were also taking guys down. One guy actually did an aerial and caught a guy with that axe kick from the air, and the whole audience went crazy. And because they had seen some guy doing tricky, they would say, what is that crazy stuff? Until somebody actually hit somebody. And Mike
that was my son.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm a big proud bird,
Yeah, it almost knocked him out. And we would say, hey, if you're going to do all that crazy stuff, let me see if you can fight with it. So, I think it's bringing it back to the center for everybody. So, again, I'm one of those guys that when they first started doing it, and they said, none of that junk works over there because it's all going to come to the ground, and they started getting defensive, like, no, we're traditionalists. And I said, y'all be thankful, because they're making you real again. Because ain't nobody on the street going to stop and go, stop, let him up. They're not going to do that. It forced everybody to start getting real. So I think this is the answer to what we're seeing, the Point MMA.
Yeah, I just have 2 quick points to make, and it pertains to your retention for your school, which I know everybody is always focused on. In being in the supply side, I talked to thousands of schools, and the one thing when UFC was getting big that all of them told me is people come in and they say, do you teach MMA? And they say, no, I teach Taekwondo. And they say, thank you very much, I'm going to go find another school. So by adding a program like Point MMA, it allows you to say yes to that question that I'm sure all of you get asked all the time. And you could say, yes, I teach MMA, I teach it to kids, and I teach it in a safe way, I teach it in a fun way. And the other part that helps so much is the camaraderie that Point MMA can bring to your school. We do tournaments at big tournaments, but what we encourage you to do is create a league within your school where you can get 2 or 3 or 4 people on a team and have an event where blue team versus green team, and you get the parents as the coaches and you get the instructors as the timekeepers, and you do an event right there, and you do your own little tournament, your round robin tournament, and you've got your Point MMA inside your school. And the camaraderie that builds, and the fun that everyone has, and the teamwork that it shares is just huge. And unfortunately, as they've both talked about, a lot of the schools have gotten away from sparring. Some of the best fighters I've ever seen in my life don't teach sparring in their school.
Let's stop that craziness. We got to fight.
Yeah.
And if anybody's out there and you from the school and say we don't fight anymore, make it safe and let them fight. But at the end of the day, all the other stuff that we do, I know we make them better grades and we make them better people and build character. But at the end of the day, we're still martial arts. I believe we and some of you are looking like crazy because you're saying there are schools that don't fight. Yeah, there's a lot of schools now that say we don't teach fighting at all.
And one thing, let's really do something about obesity. Let's stop saying we combating obesity. Everybody know that workout that you went through, it does combat obesity. And the one thing, anybody read this? When you leave, Go and buy this magazine and open up in the back and see how many kid fitness programs are in existence right now. And go to the next gym and realize how many of them now have taken your camps, your birthday parties, and all the things we had as babies. The gym's now doing better and more exciting because a family gym has the mommy and the daddy already there, and what are they going to do? They're going to sign little Johnny up for their little Tigers karate program where somebody who got 6 months of martial arts experience can run.
Unless you're going to start teaching sumo.
Yeah.
You can get big as you want.
Yeah. Any other questions? Good? Thank you, everybody.
I might take up sumo. I want to eat.
And all that stuff is right in there.
No, not anymore. Really?
If you go to the website, you can write it. And this guy's name right here. This guy's name fight. Where you at? That's the special right there. Anything where you go to the website, right there online. So I go to the school. Yeah, you get all that. You'll get the monthly continuous education, and I want to show you like this about me, and the New Year's, which is round and pound off the pound, so we're going to provide you with all that type of material as well. That's the first step. Show up, get certified the first level. Once you get certified, then you can teach the first level, you do it all, and then you can come back and you get the second, the third, and then you go to the level. It's every 3 months. If you want to get it all out within 1 year, you can come to all 4 of them and they have help every 3 months. Each time. Right. If you don't, after Shark Tank, it goes up to $1,000 of certification, and right now we're waiving it for $2,500. Normally it's $5,000 to start, but this is what normally happens when we did that. You'll get a whole supply of equipment, like heavy bags, and all those things which you need to retain 20 people, like focus pads and banana bags, everything with point heavy stuff. You'll be supplied. So by wing that you're gonna get that, but you can't come on in and get started and grow with us. It's like starting a school. I just want some people that are serious and can see the vision on it and know we make this. When we come together, it's not you can take the techniques and say, look, we do it like this, and we bring that in and enhance it. This is not me. I didn't bring anything to the structure. Everybody got it. Don't make sense. Can't get people to stand up. Ain't no probably. All right, man. Don't be making no false promises. Cause I'm gonna see you. What shirt you got on? What shirt you had on yesterday? Shaolin Wushu? Yeah. I know. That's why you need to be doing that.
We go all the way to the extreme. You back it. But then you got a lot of guys out there that you thought was. But I'm always going to think, I want to be back in the attorney. I joined the sport. I don't like how I'm feeling. So
you're going to be there. I'm right there. Don't
everything I can.
Yeah, but you're going on the internet right now. Come looking for you. Yes, sir. All right. What is it, training? Bring the growing kick back. Oh, man. Yeah, there we go.
So let's bring growing kicks back. What was wrong with growing kicks?
The judges are bad. You tell your guy to get
you online, you can register. Basically, you can bring you and anybody else you want to bring.
Always.
Okay. And $2,500 will be waived, so you don't have to put down. You don't normally what happens when you pay the whole $5,000 to get like
he might be crazy.
20 pads, 20 top pads, and 20 head gears, and whatever you need to start your program, you can get it. But because we waived it, you don't get that, but you get a chance to come in, get certified with a friend, and start running the program.
We only do.
Yeah, another instructor. Yeah, there you go. And because the key deal too,